Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here again, and here's a fantastic training tool. Now, I just spoke about this importance of your senses, your normal senses, and it was Lane Garrett, I believe, the famous psychic who did research and wrote 2 books, who talked about her method of psychic empowerment was filling up her senses first, her regular senses. Well, isn't this interesting? And of course, as I've mentioned, it does make sense. And how do you do this? Well, the problem is everybody seems to be lost. I'm kind of surprised that people aren't spending more time looking at all of these things I put up. They somehow think this is a cavalcade of toys, when these are tools that teach you and develop high levels of empowerment. But the problem is that people don't get it, and that's why people don't have much power. So, the game that brings you to your senses, a cute little thing here, but it's extremely well made and has a whole bunch of tools to increase your senses, to bring your senses up. And the bottom line is that not only don't you have a sixth sense, you don't have ESP, you don't have psychic empowerments, or at a very low level, because you don't have much of your other senses either. So let's get in here and look a little closer at all this and what it actually says here. And, get ready to touch, time, see, smell, balance, bluff, listen, locate, and laugh your way through this outrageous game. Could you identify a hidden symbol using only your fingers? Catch a dropped stick really quick? Detect how many balls are in a bag? Now there is actually ESP in here as well. So they do have a little course in direct ESP, which is pretty cool as well. Everybody's good at something. Sensibility lets you prove just how good your senses really are. And it goes into using things like how many balls do you hear here? Sight, screw, touch and go, slapstick, balance on the ball, direction north. I mean, this is really a fantastic tool. Let me turn this around here to actually show this. Now, using your senses is, I don't know how good this is for regular people in life. I guess it's kind of fun. Let me open it up. But if you are trying to improve your psychic abilities, this is critical. And it's a really nice kit. Let me lay this down here with all sorts of things. As I said, including some ESP as well directly. But here's the timing. Hold, drop from here. Can you catch something quick? Shows you and gives you an actual measuring. But here's the activity cards, which is really cool. It comes in this box. It also gives you sticks here, and one of them has a black end on it, so you can use that for particular identification. You get touch cards and other things. I'll show you. Here's the black bag that we're talking about, that you do several ESP experiments from, which is something that, as I've mentioned, I have recommended before, and have some kind of similar stuff. It comes with a timer as well. Excuse me. It comes with a timer as well. Comes with what's called these play trays. Now this is where you put your stuff in, your cards, other things. It has different uses. There's a feather. Here you get these wooden balls, and one of them is black. And of course, sometimes for the ESP experiments, you try and locate the black ball. There's a die here. Get out some of the cards here. So, I mean, this, again, your senses, if your senses are not high and you haven't filled them up, you're not going to kick in your higher sense powers, your ESP. Now, these are cards with letters on them, but they're slightly raised. And the whole idea is you go in and try and figure out what letter this is by touch alone. Great touch exercise. Really nice, very smart. These are kind of game cards. You don't do anything specifically with those. They're called Knock You Senseless. That's part of the game and how you score. Now, here's where the really cool stuff is. Let's get into this. This is the actual little holder where you hold all the activities for different challenges. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 different types of sensing you're doing there, and the cards tell you what to do. Now, needless to say, you can do this on your own. You do not need to work with others. I mean, here's the instruction sheet. This came out in 2008, and it is available now, and I do have a link to this. It's still available. You can get it from Amazon, and there'll be a link down below or some sort of link where I tell you where to actually get this. Use that link. Make sure you like this, subscribe, etc. You need to support this. We're doing a lot of fantastic work here. You're not going to see this anywhere else. We're the only ones that do it. Now, let's look at the first cards just briefly. These are the touch cards. And it tells you exactly what to do in these, work with it. Some of these you need 2 people with, some of them you don't. But those are the actual work by touching. How does that? Different little fun things. And again, we're not going to go into a lot of details here. We're trying keeping these short. If you really want good information, if you really want to get more into it, you really have to go. If this interests you, go buy it. Okay. Here's sight cards. Look, recall. Have you seen it all? Roller asks player to look around the room for 10 seconds, then cover eyes with both hands. Roller asks one question that tests visual recall. Roller may improvise on reasonable question or use a sample question on card back. First player to answer correctly wins. Okay, now here's some general questions. How many players are wearing shoes? How many drinks are on the table? What's printed on my t-shirt? Who has the longest hair? How many players have a ring on their finger? So this is, I've talked about this in a recent lecture where you should be paying attention to actual details. And so few people do. And again, this is part of having extreme psychic abilities, and I don't think people quite understand that. But here's a great tool to help you do that. And